Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the previous video, there was discussion about how the Islamic system of justice is the best in the world. The laws are made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the benefit of all humanity, while in other legal systems, the laws are made by human beings for the benefit of some particular group. So Islamic system of justice is the best for all human beings. We can see from the life of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he declared that he was a prophet of Allah, the people who opposed him at that time were the establishment, the rich and the powerful people of that time. And many of them were his relatives, people from his own clan, from his tribe, because they understood that if his system comes in power, their injustice or their system of exploitation of the masses would then end. So their opposition was for a reason. Before he was a prophet, they trusted him. He was Sadiq and Amin. But when he talked about Islam, invitation to Islam, they understood that that meant end of their rule, end of their exploitation of the people. So it's always the rich and powerful people who oppose Islam because Islam threatens their power base. They know that they cannot exploit people anymore. So Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam faced a lot of hardship for the first 13 years in Makkah. He was making effort on the common people. He was making effort on people like Bilal Raziyallahu Anhu, the downtrodden, the poor, the weak. And the rich people were opposed, making all efforts to wipe out that effort, to the extent that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had to leave Makkah and go to Medina. But he kept doing the effort, and slowly and gradually, when the common people started realizing that their benefit is in Islam, and the numbers started increasing. But it took many years, 13 years in Makkah, then the remaining 10 years in Medina. The effort continued until there were enough people who understood that Islam was for their benefit. And when their numbers became overwhelming for the Meccans, they had no choice but to give up. So this was the most peaceful revolution in the history of mankind, when the hearts of the people changed. So it all depends on the common people. If the common people start realizing that the only just system, and this is not just the common people in Pakistan, this is the common people all over the world, because all over the world there is injustice, there's exploitation. The rich, powerful people, very few, very small percentage of the total population, they keep exploiting the masses, and they keep the status quo going because it benefits them. And they are afraid of Islam because if Islam comes, then the system of exploitation that they have developed, whether it's capitalism, communism, or any other ism, that exploitation of the masses will end. But it's all up to the common people to realize that their exploitation, the injustice to them being done, will end only if Islam comes. And that comes in the same way it came during the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When the numbers started increasing, people started realizing the fraud, the deception which is exercised by the exploiters through academic institutions, through the media, through other institutions. When that fraud is exposed, then the masses will feel the difference. So it all depends upon the education. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam educated the people. He told them about a system of justice. He told them about a system that brought peace and prosperity. And the world has seen how the conditions of the Arabs changed, how they became the most respected, the most powerful people of their time. So Islam is the only system that can produce such a peaceful revolution. All the other systems are exploitative, and history of mankind is a witness to that. And the education that Islam gives is for all benefit, for the benefit of all mankind. And the exploitative systems try to stop that from going to the masses. This is what happened in the case of Rasulullah. The Meccans, his enemies, they tried to stop the message of Quran, the message of Islam from spreading in the population. And they used different tactics. In the first few years, they just ignored it as if there was nothing. And then when the message started spreading, then the persecution started. And when Rasulullah went to Medina, then they even went to fight wars against them. So just see the extent to which the kuffar, his enemies, went to wipe out Islam, because Islam was to liberate the people from their oppression. And this is a fact of history that many of these people who were fighting on the side of the kuffar, they realized that Islam is for the benefit of humanity. They joined Rasulullah. So today there is a need for people, the common people, to understand that voting for this party or voting for that party and voting for this leader or that leader is not going to help. That has already been tried in countries like Pakistan. And the system, the corrupt system, does not allow the truth to prevail. We have seen in Egypt the government that was brought into power, supposedly an Islamic government, was removed by the army because the society, the elite, the establishment realized that if there was a change in the system, if a true Islamic system comes into power, then their corruption, the injustice they are inflicting on the people will have to end. So the people in Pakistan and the people all over the world, if they want to remove injustice and oppression and misery and poverty, the only system that can help them is the system of Islam. And that is because this is a system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. If this was given by a human being, then there would be questions about it. That's why the Quran starts with the declaration that this is a book about which there is no doubt. This is a book of guidance. The Quran is a book of guidance for all mankind, for all times to come. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves His creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to benefit His creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to help the creation. But it's up to the creation to want to be helped by Allah. If the people do not want to be helped by Allah and they turn to human beings for help, then they will bring misery upon themselves. And we have seen that in Pakistan and in other countries. Arab countries is another example. The Arabs rejected the system of Islam. Some of them turned to socialism. Some of them turned to capitalism. They left the system of Islam and they brought destruction upon themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a book, He gave an example, He gave a whole system which was rejected, and all we have to do is see the condition of the Arabs in the Arab world, how these countries have been totally devastated, and they brought it upon themselves by their own selves. They had the choice. They had the choice either to turn to Islam or to turn to some other system. and they opted for other systems. And we know how they ended. And the turmoil is still continuing. And if they understand that, the condition will change. The oppressive system or the system of injustice is, is made so attractive through the media that people start falling into this trap. They think this is the way of prosperity, whereas the fact is that this is a path of destruction. And we have seen over the centuries, the last few centuries, when the Muslim leaders rejected Islam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave power to the enemies, and the enemies have been demonizing Islam, have been bashing Islam for hundreds of years and trying to convince the Muslims that this is not the right system, it should be rejected. And they've tried different strategies, and as we've been discussed in the previous videos, how the British tried to eliminate Islam, and they succeeded. How the Muslims fell into this trap that this is going to bring, Islam is going to bring them failure. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them another opportunity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala established the state of Pakistan, which was to show the world that Islam is the way, the solution to success, is a path of success. But unfortunately, the Pakistani leaders who were trained by the British, who were trained in the British system, they refused to adopt that. And they continue to refuse to adopt that till the present day. And unfortunately, the people are not understanding. This is a small effort, actually, to make people realize that if they want to improve their condition, the only way is to turn to Islam. And that is very simple. Just like the Sahaba, the companions of Rasulullah, when they understood that this Islam is a way of salvation, not only in the next life, but salvation in this life also, then the numbers started increasing. Unfortunately, at this present time, the numbers are not present in a country like Pakistan. Most people do not even understand the fundamentals of Islam. And that's why it's easy to deceive them. The media is deceiving them all the time. The academic institutions are deceiving them. The politicians are deceiving them. And the common person is not making any effort. And all they have to do is look at the example of Rasulullah. His life is a model for all times to come. And his method was very peaceful. He was educating the people how to get the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today the Muslims do not know how to get the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are looking to everybody and everything and every system for help. And the help is not coming. Just imagine, just see how many millions and billions of dollars of loans Pakistan has taken in the last 72 years. Has the condition improved? And they're still making the same mistake. They're still thinking that the more they borrow, the more their condition is going to improve. The people who are sitting in the top positions, people might think they're going to help Pakistan. They're not there to help Pakistan. They're there to help themselves, because they represent institutions, they represent a system that has given them benefit. And they'll go back to that system. And the people will continue to suffer. All you have to do is look at the qualifications of the people who are sitting in top positions. Where did they come from? Who has trained them? And where are they going to go? So it would be foolishness to expect that these people are going to bring prosperity to Pakistan. So the people who are at the top, they are there only to loot. After they've looted, then they will return to their wherever they are coming from. Just imagine how simple the people are. They think that these people who are sitting in these top positions are going to help them and make Pakistan a prosperous country. These people do not want Islam. They know that if Islam comes, their system of exploitation is going to end. All this deception and fraud that is being imposed is going to end. And the common person is going to suffer if he doesn't come back to the system that Rasulullah brought. That is the best system because that is the system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to mankind. Islam is not just a set of beliefs or a set of rituals. It is a whole system designed to bring success to the people. It is a whole system that's designed to bring peace and prosperity to the people. The whole world is trying to get that. They're trying to get prosperity. They're trying to get peace, but they do not know. They do not know because this system, this system that Allah has given is not known by them. And Muslims are supposed to tell the whole world that this is the system that brings what you are looking for. So many countries have developed so many technologies and advancement in science. Everything is there. But people are still suffering. All you have to do is look at the condition of the people in these so-called developed countries or advanced countries. You see the suicide rate of the people. People may have become advanced in science and technology, and they may have items of luxury. But deep down within themselves, there's an emptiness. They do not even know what is the purpose of life. They think just the purpose is to satisfy their desires. And that's why they are all the time lost in confusion. So Islam is the way of success. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this beautiful system. It's very simple. All people have to do is just adopt it. It's already there. One doesn't have to develop it. One doesn't have to start all over again. Rasulullah ﷺ showed how it works, and his companions put that into practice. So it's been tried and tested. It's not something that's a utopian idea. It's not something that somebody just imagined and said, here is a system that's going to work. This is a system that has been tried and tested. When the system was rejected, it brought misery to the people. And this is a hope that the Muslims, at least all over the world, realize that if they want to go back to the success that Rasulullah ﷺ brought, the peaceful revolution that he brought, that can only come by the method that he taught, and that anyone is able to do at any time. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give the understanding of that to all mankind, because all mankind is suffering. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of all mankind. And He loves all mankind and wants all mankind to be successful. Wa akhirat dawana in alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.